Imagine two children. One spends hours doing worksheets, flashcards, and educational apps. The other spends their day talking, playing, helping in the kitchen, listening to stories, and just being a child. Fast forward a few years. Which child do you think will have better focus, stronger problem-solving skills, and deeper confidence in learning? Most people get this wrong, because we've been taught that learning looks like sitting still, memorizing, and getting things right. But that's not how a child's brain actually grows. The brain grows through interaction, curiosity, mistakes, and real-life experiences. And the most powerful part? You don't need extra time. You don't need special tools. You don't need to become a teacher. You just need to use everyday moments differently. In this video, we're going to break down 5 simple daily activities that quietly and powerfully boost your child's learning ability and show you exactly how to use them the right way. 1. Talking with your child, the brain-building conversation. Let's start with something that seems obvious. Talking. You talk to your child every single day. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of that talking does not build their thinking. Because it's one-directional. Put this here. Don't do that. Hurry up. Eat your food. That's not conversation. That's instruction. Now imagine a different moment. You're in the kitchen. Water is boiling. Instead of saying nothing, you pause and ask, "Why do you think the water is bubbling like that?" Your child might say something completely wrong. It's jumping because it's hot. And instead of correcting them, you say, "That's interesting. What makes you think that?" Now something powerful happens. Their brain starts working. They're not trying to be right. They're trying to make sense of the world. That's learning. Deep learning. Extend this moment. What do you think will happen if we turn the heat off? Why do you think steam comes out? Now you've turned a 30-second moment into a full thinking exercise. This is how intelligence is built, not through giving answers, but through inviting thought. Another everyday example. You're walking outside. Instead of silence or distraction, you say, "What do you notice today that you didn't notice yesterday?" Now they're comparing, observing, analyzing. Even silence becomes learning when curiosity is present. Common scenario parents face. A child says something incorrect. The moon is following us. The instinct is to say, "No, it's not." But what if instead you said, "That's interesting. Why do you think it feels like it's following us?" Now you've opened a door instead of closing one. The goal is not accuracy in the moment. The goal is engagement, because a thinking child becomes a learning child. If conversation builds the brain through language, then the next one builds it through experience. 2. Unstructured play, where real thinking begins. This is the one most parents underestimate. Play. Not structured play. Not guided play. Unstructured play. The kind that looks messy, random, and sometimes even pointless. A child stacking random objects. Pretending a spoon is an airplane. Creating rules for a game that make no sense to you. It doesn't look like learning. But it's one of the most powerful forms of learning. Let's slow this down and really see what's happening. A child is building a tower. It falls. They pause. Now their brain asks, "What went wrong?" They try again. Different angle, different balance. That is problem solving. No one told them what to do. No one corrected them. They figured it out. That process is what builds long-term intelligence. Now, imagine if a parent steps in too quickly. No, do it like this. The tower might stand faster, but the thinking disappears. And over time, the child starts waiting for instructions instead of exploring solutions. Another example. Pretend play. A child says, "You're the teacher and I'm the student." Now they're practicing. Social roles language, memory creativity. They're replaying the world in their own way. This is how children process experiences. This is how they understand emotions. And this is how imagination becomes intelligence. The problem is, many children today are overstructured. Every minute is planned. Every activity has rules. Every toy has instructions. And slowly, they lose the ability to initiate thinking on their own.
So, here's the shift.
Instead of asking, "What activity should I give my child?" ask, "What space can I give my child to think?" Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step back. Now, let's move into something that feels ordinary, but has a massive impact on how your child's brain organizes information. 3. Routines that train the brain. Routines seem boring, repetitive, predictable, but for a child's brain, routines are powerful because they create structure, and structure creates mental clarity.
Think about this.
When a child knows what comes next, their brain is not busy reacting. It's preparing. Let's take a morning routine. Wake up, brush teeth,
Get dressed.
eat breakfast. At first, you guide every step, but over time, something changes. The child starts remembering, then anticipating, then doing it independently. Now the brain is practicing, sequencing memory, planning. That's executive function. Now here's where most parents miss an opportunity. They keep giving instructions. Go brush your teeth. Put your shoes on. Instead of asking, what comes next? That one small shift forces the brain to retrieve information, and retrieval strengthens memory. Another moment.
Bedtime.
Instead of rushing through it, slow it down. Ask, what's the first thing we do before bed? Let them think. Let them answer. Now, bedtime is not just a routine. It's a learning system. But consistency is key. If routines change constantly, the brain stays in survival mode, always reacting, never organizing. And a reactive brain struggles to focus, remember, and learn deeply. Now, let's talk about one of the most recommended parenting habits, but often done in the least effective way. 4. Reading, turning passive into powerful. Reading is often seen as the ultimate learning activity,
And it is.
but only when it's done the right way. Most reading looks like this. Parent reads, child listens, book ends. That's exposure, but it's not deep engagement. Let's transform this. You're reading a story. You pause and ask, what do you think will happen next? Now the child predicts. Prediction activates critical thinking. You continue. A character feels sad. You pause again. Why do you think they feel that way? Now the child connects emotions to situations. That builds emotional intelligence. Another moment. The story ends. Instead of closing the book, you ask, what would you do differently if you were in the story? Now they're analyzing and creating. This turns reading into a full brain activity. And here's something important. It's not about finishing the book. It's about expanding the moment. You can spend 10 minutes on one page and build more learning than rushing through an entire book, because the goal is not reading. The goal is thinking. Now, for the final one, and this one might challenge how you see everyday parenting. 5. Involving your child in real-life tasks. This is where many learning opportunities are lost, because it feels inconvenient. You're busy, you're tired, and it's faster to do things yourself. But speed comes at a cost. When you do everything for your child, you remove their opportunity to think. Let's take a simple example.
Cooking.
Instead of saying, "Go play, I'll do this," you say, "Come help me." Now they're measuring, pouring, observing. They see cause and effect. Too much flour changes the texture. Heat changes the food. This is real-world learning. Another example, laundry. It seems simple, but sorting clothes teaches categorization. Folding teaches patterns and spatial awareness. Even cleaning teaches responsibility and sequencing.
And here's the key.
It will be messy. It will be slower. It will not be perfect. But that's exactly what learning looks like. When parents expect perfection, children avoid trying. When parents allow mistakes, children build confidence. So instead of asking, "How do I get this done faster?" ask, "How can my child be part of this?" Because involvement creates ownership, and ownership builds independence.
So here's the shift.
Learning is not something you schedule. It's something that's already happening every single day. In your conversations, in play, in routines, in reading, in everyday tasks. The question is not whether your child is learning. The question is, are these moments building their brain or just passing time? Because small daily interactions shape how your child thinks, solves problems, and sees the world. And the best part is, you don't need to add more. You just need to see differently. If this changed the way you think about parenting, subscribe for more deep, practical insights like this. And in the comments, tell me, which one of these are you going to start using today?